Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the showdown between the Chaos Dwarves and Dinosaurs here on the Glade of the Everqueen. It's going to be myself with Astrogoth facing off against Peppy Zapper, who is going to be rocking Kroqy Balboa, probably on the Velociraptor, which is a good tech, as well as the Skink Oracle, because a lot of Chaos Dwarf players just load in, especially on, this is actually a ladder game, they load onto ladder and they just roll in with double Iron Demon just every single game, right? So my opponent, probably pretty privy to this, is going to be bringing Kroqy with Hand of the Gods, as well as the Skink Oracle, both of which are basically counters against the Iron Demon, so I do like that from his build. Now for what I got in the front line, we're going to be using Elite Chaos Dwarves with some Bull Centaurs, as well as the Death Streak Rocket Launcher and Astrogoth. That's pretty much my whole build. No skirmishers, yeah, the Fire Glaive in the woods as well, but the Infernal Guard are okay against the dinos, and if something is okay and it's an elite infantry unit, I'm going to find a way to shoehorn it in my build. So these guys will beat Saurus. They will be able to defeat all of the skink units, obviously. They have silver shields against some of the small arms fire that the dinos do have, and yeah, they'll hold well. Now, a little bit of fire resist isn't irrelevant either, considering that ancient salamanders sometimes do get used to deal with armored infantry. So Infernal Guard just going to plop them down in points and hope they win their fights. Bull Centaur renders to deal with Kroxigors, because the worst thing you can run into with the Infernal Guard, or even Chaos Dwarves in general, is going to be Kroxigors with their spanking paddles, or the Cohort of Waddle, the elite ones, whatever. Those guys can put a lot of work down and make you suffer. Flamestorm Astrogoth in the back, Death Streak Rocket Launcher, and it is going to be an Infernal Guard Fire Glaive to put some hurt on big targets. For my opponent here, going to be rocking an anti-Iron Demon build. He has Kroqy with Hand of the Gods and Colossal Strike. This man really does not want to lose the Iron Demons. And he's got a Skink Oracle with Flock of Doom, Harmonic Convergence, and Earthblood. Pretty good kit of spells, honestly. I like the utility on that. I think it's a good choice. The rest of his build is going to be very infantry heavy, so Skink Cohorts and some Red-Crested Skinks, as well as the Legion of Kroqy here on the far side. Going to be looking to swarm with his troopers and get up on the point before I do. Chameleon Stalker is going to be parking on Objective 3. And now Astrochad and company will be moving up, so we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding while the posturing does take place here. I plop one elite infantry unit on the back objective, and I start shooting him with the rocket, but my opponent is a clever girl here. He does, actually, you notice he's hidden right behind the tree, so a couple rockets you're going to see in a minute here will hit into the tree line, so yeah, not the best situation for me. So he's all set up here with his infantry lines, just kind of challenging me to engage against him, and that's the advantage of him getting the objective, but I do have the tools to blast him with artillery. On that same coin, a very sneaky get. I love it. He's got the Chameleon Stalkers working around the backfield, looking to get on top of the artillery piece. So the Death Streak Rocket Launcher is going to potentially be taken offline for a moment before I can secure it. We'll see. It's a little bit sketchy. All right, so poking up with the Oracle. Bull Centaur is going to move in, and the Infernal Chad Fire Glaives are going to force those guys running. And here, Kroqy are going to be sitting on the objective with his Chameleon Stalkers as well as his Red-Crested Skinks, keeping a very tight formation here, and he goes right back behind the tree. This man is, it's funny. Like, you don't see it as much in tournaments, right? Like, but this is, I mean, you do, but this is like something that comes from just like hundreds of games of probably playing against Chaos Dwarves on ladder or something. Look at that, just blocking the tree line, just MLG pro player games right there, man. I love it. All right, so my opponent here going to be calling in the Ripperdactyls, and they are very good against my elite infantry, so that is one thing to watch out for. So I do call in the Iron Demon, and my opponent, like, finally I have something to kill with my big anti-large units. So the Iron Demon does roll in, using its flamethrower to cook some of the Red-Crested Skinks. Nothing too crazy. In the meantime, the ambush is about to be sprung in the back, and some really, really unfortunate timing for me. What ends up happening is I call in a Bull Centaur render in my backfield right as he attacks me. So I don't have the resources to defend the Death Streaker with like a Hobgoblin Wolf Rider. I was so sad about that. I was like, oh god, this is the worst timing ever. But the Infernal Guard are keeping him at bay, and you can see we're getting good damage on Kroqy as well as the Skink Oracle, and my elite infantry taking a little bit of damage, but still hanging in there while we do bombard him with our Death Streaker, which is really good against infantry as well. Now on the backside, I am forced to retreat here, so the Death Streaker is going to be running away from the Chameleon Stalkers, and I am forced to use my Haggard Bull Centaurs to come over here and fight the Chameleon Stalkers, which they're not really good against infantry, but they'll still beat them, obviously. And I finally did save up enough to get the Wolf Riders in, so thankfully I did have them in reserve, and if I had called in an expensive infantry unit over there, we could have been just straight up not having our Iron Demon online for, our Death Streaker for quite some time. But Stalkers are going to be trash can. And now we're going to be sounding the Horn of War as Astrogoth Iron Hand engages against Kroqy, but he does have the Black Hammer of Hashut. That's going to be giving him a big stat line buff, in the elite Chaos Dwarf infantry piling in here, getting ready to fight the Red-Crested Skinks, which is a little bit of a tricky fight. Flamestorm going down as well. Brutal damage coming in from Astrogoth's Fire Magic, nailing two of those units, timing it in tandem with the Iron Demon here to really just get maximum devastation, and we do manage to rickroll those guys and send them back to the shadows. So the Red-Crested Skinks and the Skink Cohort getting the Pound Town from that magic, and in the back my opponent does dive the Infernal Chad Fire Glaives. Thankfully the Bull Centaur renders were nearby able to pop out of the trees and get on top of the Ripperdactyl, so getting us a relatively good trade as we do get some good fights here. Now, the fighting rage is on in the middle. My opponent does have healing via Earthbloods, and Astragoth, you know, Kroqy's a really good fighter. In a straight fight, I don't know who would win that. Maybe, I mean, Astragoth might, since Kroqy on his Velociraptor is an anti-large unit. I don't know. I'd have to see how that plays out. Bull Centaur is going to be coming across. We do stabilize the backfield, and some Ripperdactyls are just rock hard chasing down my Iron Demon here. Now they're going to be charging into the backfield, which is a huge mistake. These are the Colossodon Hunters. Understandably, the shooting is problematic, but considering I have 2 Bull Centaur Renders nearby, it's going to be a really, really bad trade for these guys. So they're going to be getting it as the Bull Centaur Renders do start to take them to Pound Town here. And the anti-large attacks really going to be adding up. Now, I still haven't been able to get the objective yet. The Iron Demon is moving in and roasting, and Kroqy being an absolute Chad here. A little bit of harmonic convergence to help him win the fight against Astragoth, and it works. It forces me back. I noticed I was losing the fight. Have to retreat a little bit right here. Don't want any of that smoke. My opponent also pressuring my back objective, maybe thinking he could just capture weight push me, but the Infernal Guard will be able to hold. And maybe he thought they were just basic Chaos Dwarf Warriors, but these guys, this is where their 56 melee defense and their super high armor values are going to shine. They are all about this life. No models lost yet, and they are going to be bashing down a lot of skinks. So I do respond by calling out some Hobgoblins to help out there while another Flamestorm is activated on the Dino box. Able to cook some of these guys, and the Death Tree Rocket Launcher. Dude, he is so good at hiding behind these trees. I swear, it's like he just must practice this at his off time. There was so many moments in the game when I was like looking and I was like, how am I not hitting this thing? And then it's just like hiding behind a tiny birch tree or something, which is ridiculous. So Horn Ones being called in. Horn Ones are a decent utility unit against Chaos Dwarfs. They have a lot of good anti-armor and just hit hard in general, so they're going to do good against the Iron Demon if they can get it alone, but the Infernal Chad Fireglaves able to mow him down a little bit and then engage with the Halberd. So this will hurt for both of us, but at the end of the day, I can move my Iron Demon back here, probably end up winning this fight because of the Halberds on the Infernal Guards in tandem with the Iron Demon. Still haven't been able to get the objective though. Skinks are rolling up, and I am up by about 5k value. With healing, it's probably about 3k value because he has cast a ton of Earthbloods this game. Astragoth locked in a Duel of Fates versus Kroqy. But look at all the stat line buffs. Oh my god, 82, 68, 551. But Astro Chad with the Hammer of Hashut, 720 weapon strength. Super good. And it makes your opponent flammable. So that's going to be even more damage on top of that as well. Deathstreaker finally able to get contact with the Skink Oracle. My opponent does push me off the objective here, and I don't really have the infantry presence to move up and grab this point, which is a little bit sketchy. And over on this side, thankfully, it is going well. The Infernal Guard, I was surprised at how well those Skinks had done. The Hobgoblin Riders, though, should be able to break that position. My opponent going to be calling in Razordons, which is not bad against Chaos Dwarves if you have things to stop the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, because they're able to chase them down very, very effectively. In the back, we have more Infernal Guard Fireglaves. Hand of the Gods going to be activated. Damn, look at that damage. Okay, I mean, it's very good at sniping SEs, but clearly quite good against the Elite Infantry too. And running away is the Skink Oracle. He's been eating rockets and just palpatining behind the trees, but not before he gets about 1,600 value. So this guy did not have a terrible run, to be honest. He was able to almost pay for himself, and with healing, I mean, certainly has paid for himself. Rocket Launcher taking him down with the Steel Chair. And now the Legions of Hashut are going to be charging the back objective right here. So Astragoth and his Bull Centaur Legion and the Demon's Tongue preparing to pile in as Kroqy Balboa is, you know, he's going for it. Sacred Spawning of Zodal, Swiftness of Itzel, Bad Boy's rocking 83 speed, and is most likely going to be able to finish off the Iron Demon. We'll have to see. There are a lot of Bull Centaur Renders nearby. Flamestorm, so good against Lizardmen. Right there, dropping it like it's hot on top of the Red Crested Skinks. And to the backside, the Chaos Dwarf Warriors moving up. And in the back, we have more Chaos Dwarf Warriors coming as well. So just waves and waves of units. The Deathstreaker Rocket Launcher needs to be switched to Spray Fire mode. And the Iron Demon is rolling about, just roasting infantry wherever it can, while the Hobgoblins are hunting down the Razordon hunting packs. Value is still about the same. He has closed the gap a little bit, but even still, I'm still in a relatively commanding position. The Iron Demon going to be forced to retreat from the Cold One Spear Riders. I believe these are the anti-large variant. Yes, they are, so they'll be very good against the Iron Demon if they can catch it. And still not able to get this objective. The Dinos have really been fighting for this one, but the Hobgoblin's going to get a nice rear charge right here into the back of the Lizards and be the hammer to the anvil of the more elite Chaos Dwarf infantry here, the Infernal Chad Fireglaves, which are pretty low, but have gotten good value for me this game. 2,300 value, damn. This other Fireglaves just got in here, but they've already gotten about 300. The objective in the process of flipping, and back here, we do manage to break the Dinos. So they do have some Razordons, but Kroqy Balboa is pretty much out of the game. I believe he moved into the blob there and got karate chopped. And yeah, the Iron Demon is in a little bit of trouble, but overall, it's going to be a very tough one for my opponent here. So essentially, we move in with the great weapons. I have a lot of units left on the board. I also have a big value lead, points lead. Well, he has the points lead, but I have the objective lead is what I meant to say. So from here on out, we're going to be chasing down a couple Razordon packs here and there, and those Coldland Spear Riders going to be sent to the Shadow Realm. My opponent tries a couple desperate last plays to get on the objective. We just straight up hunt down his Razordons. He just didn't have the assets on the field. Flamestorm going to be cooking. Auction House commentary time as we continue just pushing these guys in the back. Infernal Guard going to be screening out the infantry while we do get our Fire Glaives moving up to put pressure down on ye old Razordon hunting packs. Another Flamestorm able to cook those bad boys. Kroqy Balboa comes back out, which was kind of funny. But he's going to end up getting death streaked again, and Astrogoth being, you know, he's not like somebody who has to be in the front line fighting. He's got a little bit of Palpatine energy, being a wizard, of course. So he's going to run to the back and just heal up in the woods. Not heal, but hide in the woods to make sure he doesn't go. Kroqy gets pounded. GG, well played. So, fun game, for sure. You know, I had played maybe 4 or 5 ladder games, and there were some great players on ladder. I mean, this guy was solid. Like the ambush. The build just had some weaknesses against my build, for sure. Like, having the 2 big mounted characters that were like all in on trying to take down the Iron Demon, and then I just didn't even present that and presented a ton of answers to that. But really there's one clear thing that cost him the game, and it was the Ripperdactyls. The one Ripperdactyl diving in the back, getting instantly farmed, giving me a huge value surplus, and then I still had all my assets online. Then the second one doing the same thing. Those were the 2 big plays that completely changed the momentum of the game, in my opinion. So yeah, GG, well played. The Razordons are all right. You probably only need 1. I think 3 is a little bit excessive there. I'm not very good at lizards, but Kroxigors have always been a menace as well. Like a big, like wide. One thing that would have wrecked my build would have been like mass skinks with a bunch, like 3 or 4 Kroxigors just bull rushing and swarming my backfield and just hard pressing me. That type of play is really nasty against Chaos Dwarves. And I had some anti-infantry, but that was the biggest weakness. I mean, I had 1 Iron Demon ROR, but it can't be everywhere at once. All right, guys, GG, well played. Hopefully you enjoyed that one, and hash it blessed. Take care.